Hi everybody, Dr. David Moffet here in Burrowang, New South Wales, and I'm talking today with Jason Pang in Sydney, in Neutral Bay. Jason's at work today. It's Monday afternoon, Monday lunchtime, and Jason is one of our great speakers that we've got at Dental Fire Aid New South Wales, which is an event we're putting on in Merimbula next month. I think it's March 2021. With a little bit of social on 22 and a little bit of social on 19. And the reason for putting that event on is simply that Merimbula's been affected by the bushfires. Their economy has been affected, as well as parts of the Shire have had significant fire damage as well. Houses lost, a couple of deaths, and also, properties lost, sheds lost, fences lost, income lost. But the whole area is really suffering because the fires hit during holiday season, and coastal towns like that rely on a lot of business during the holiday season to get them through the quiet periods of the year. So the best stimulus that we can give them is to actually have a dental meeting in their town, where we come down and we stimulate their accommodation economy, we stimulate their restaurant economy, we stimulate their cafe economy and their adult beverage economy, as well as their oysters. You can do some deep sea tours, some sightseeing tours, whole pile of stuff. But Jason is speaking. We've got 15 speakers on our roster for 2 days, and there's a lot of interest in the dental community. Jason, thanks for being on this interview during your busy Monday. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. First of all, what will you be talking about at the Dental Fire Aid event?
Well, thanks for having me, David. Look, I thought I'd share the message of dental lasers. A lot of people know about dental lasers or have heard about dental lasers. There's maybe a bit of misinformation about them, but lots of people do have maybe a smaller sort of laser, maybe about anywhere from 10 to 20% of people have dental lasers. So, and I don't think they're actually using it anywhere near as much as they could be. There's a lot of things that dental lasers can be used for, mostly soft tissue, but most often they're just undermet. Things like hemangiomas, mucoseals, even treating things like, lesions on the lip. Those can all be done with lasers, and then there's a process called photobiomodulation, which is the ability for those lasers to help heal those tissues much more quickly. But it actually doesn't have to be done by lasers either. It can be done by LEDs and even broad spectrum light. So just want to bring the awareness of those kind of technologies and get dentists to start using what they have straight away, because there's actually a lot that they can do.
Well, that's great, because they say that you don't know what you don't know. So having you speak about lasers and photobiomodulation, it's going to be really great for the dentists and the practices attending, because again, it's another string to your bow. It's something, if you know how to do it, you can do it. If you don't know how to do it, you never do it, and that's a treatment that some of your patients probably need, but you're avoiding doing. So really good idea. The event is being held a long way out of Sydney. What made you actually want to be a speaker at Fire Aid, Jason?
Well, I had heard about I saw the post from Craig Newman as well about not traveling to Bali for the next holiday, and that absolutely that really resonated for me. I remember that during December, I thought maybe I'd travel down to the South Coast, and didn't end up going there, but I nearly actually booked something there. And so when it all happened, it was like such a shock that all this was happening. I was thinking, oh my gosh, all these people are being affected. And I thought of Craig, who was down there, and he invited me along to come along to this extravaganza. So I thought that would be a great opportunity for me to help, the people of the South Coast. I thought for me, rather than actually fly down to the area, what I would do is I actually would drive down, and then I could stop at all the places along the way, help, with the economy as I'm sort of traveling down and coming back, and really sort of just, try and boost the economy in my own sort of personal way.
Well, it's funny, I was talking this morning with Frankie J. Holden, who's going to be the MC at our gala dinner. And he was saying that he's been up and down to Sydney twice just recently. And he said it's a really good example because you actually drive through some fire-affected areas, but you can already see with the effects of the rain that they're starting to get some greening up of the bush floors in those areas. So they're responding very quickly. But he said it's a great example of seeing, what it looks like, when it's hit and straight after. Whereas some people, sometimes the shots on the TV don't actually really show the devastation. And not that we want to harp on the devastation, but it is quite severe. Jane and I flew back from Hobart across the fires on Australia Day, and it was quite easy to pick, where the fires had hit the bush and where they hadn't, and actually see live fires. So great that you're coming down, Jason. Really appreciate that. As we said, we've got 15 speakers there. Who else on the roster are you looking forward to hearing from?
Well, actually, I'm really interested in hearing from Julie Parker. She's sort of worked out, how to get teams working really well together. So I'm really interested to hear her. I mean, I love the other speakers that are coming on board. I have heard them at some point in the past before. So this would be something sort of fresh for me. So I'm really looking forward to that. And just I think every dentist being having learned the dentistry, that they're not as familiar with the dental business, and so listening to someone like her will just really sort of get the whole team motivated and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I've met Julie, but I've never heard her speak. So I was talking with her yesterday, and I told her that I'm also looking forward to hearing what she's got to say. I think we've got a really broad choice across the 2 days. There's something for everybody, and the good thing is, for those who are coming to maybe see people that their interests are being targeted, like you and the clinical lecturers, may actually get a couple of aha moments from the non-clinical, and vice versa. So I think you can always learn from other people. I think Harry was saying that when I spoke with him, Harry Margaret, that he said he's looking forward to hearing everybody, because he always gets stuff that he can put into action straight away. So it's really good that we've got such a wide range of people talking on some really good topics. So Derek's talking on airways, and you on lasers. There's a lot of stuff there. Now, you mentioned you were tempted to go down in December. Do you have any personal connections with the South Coast, previously, or with bushfires? Have you had any personal affections by that?
I have friends that, well, not exactly in the South Coast, but I have friends that live at the Blue Mountains, which was pretty badly affected. I have some patients that have had some properties that the fire just wiped through the whole property. But as you said, with the rains that came through, it went from looking completely bleak and black to actually very, very green, and with everything sort of growing so quickly, it's quite amazing. But my parents actually have a holiday home in Dinnerplain, which is next to Mount Hotham, so one of the ski areas. You may have heard of that Mount Selwyn was destroyed as part of the fires there. That's one of the ski resorts. Well, Mount Hotham is one of those other big ski resorts, and the fires actually came within 15 minutes of Dinnerplain. So about 12 kilometers before the winds actually changed direction and moved away. So very, very lucky, but that whole area was actually evacuated, so it came pretty close.
Yeah, we had a similar story. My dad's got a place down on the south coast at Tomacan, just south of Bateman's Bay, and the fire from the west that went through Mogo, and you heard the story how they were able to evacuate the animals in the zoo. It was headed straight for Tomacan. They'd evacuated the evacuation centre and had everybody on the beach in this little town, and then the southerly hit and it turned it in a different direction. But when you look where the fire went to, it was at the back fence of the people over the road from my dad's place, so only 40 yards from his place. So pretty scary stuff. And as we've heard, the only thing that stops a fire is a lot of rain, because humans can only manage the assault of the thing. But these fires, when the winds get up and the heat gets up, they are uncontrollable. And fortunately, as you said, we've had the rain. You know, I live rurally in the southern highlands of New South Wales, and the fires were 25 kilometres from us, and we were very dry. Our paddocks for our cattle were down to bare metal, and now they're walking around in knee-high grass, loving the place. So just Moss Vale had 6 inches of rain Sunday to Thursday last week, and that's not counting. I couldn't go back on what I was looking at to see how much. There was a lot on the Saturday and the Friday before that. So we've been very fortunate that Mother Nature has dumped a lot of rain, and now every fire in the southeast is under control. But this is the time, as Frankie J was saying, that we need to be helping stimulate the economy, because that's real stimulus. You know, people say, well, I give to, charity and that gets there. Well, that goes the slow way. The charities money is going the slow way. So, to come along and actually stimulate the economy in Merimbula will really have an effect. All funds raised, and we're looking at raising $100,000, all funds raised are going to go to the Bega Valley Disaster Relief Fund. So that'll get out a lot quicker than if it goes into big charities, and that really help people who are really struggling. So it's a great initiative. Jason, anything else that we need to know about your speaking down at FireAid?
Well, the only thing I would say is that, in addition to all the flora that was lost, we're talking certainly about the fauna and the animals that were lost down there. And I'll hopefully show you how some of the lasers and LEDs are being used to help the animals that are down there to recover from certainly the burns that they've had, and all the trauma that they've had. So that'll be a sort of a nice link in with what I'm talking about.
Oh, excellent. So that's great. Jason, thanks for being on the call today. I'll let you get back to your busy schedule of patients at your practice, and appreciate your time. Looking forward to hearing what you've got to say when you come down to Merimbula. So thanks again for being on the call, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, David. We'll see you there.